Welcome back, my friends, for another episode of MES que un podcast. Your Uncle John here with Baby Buga. We're going to be breaking down Barcelona's big week. We continue the undefeated streak through 2025. Barcelona with a 3-0 win over Osasuna, a 4-1 win over Girona, and then we're going to be talking about the big Copa del Rey second leg against Atleti, 4-4 on aggregate, a wild first leg. We're going to be talking about lineups, preview, prediction, all that and more in today's episode. Make sure you drop a like, show some love and support for the channel, and let us know your thoughts, your questions, your opinions, everything down in the comments. We'd love to hear from you. With that out of the way, Baby Buga, how we doing, sir?
I'm ready.
We're ready.
We're ready.
Estamos listo.
Listos. With
Listos. Damn it, I'm so close. So close. We're going to get there. One of these times when I drop some Spanish, I'm going to do it correctly.
We're listos. Why are we listos? Because I think this week, it's not an understatement that so far in this season, I think this is the biggest challenge to get the treble.
Or like this match coming up against Atleti.
This match against Atletico is what we want to get the treble. It's like the biggest challenge. Because on paper, if you really do look at, like, I was watching this commentary, and it's like, if you look at the La Liga, maybe Real Madrid is the hardest opponent we have to face there yet, but we've beat them so far. So it's like you shouldn't be
stomp them, bro. Stomp them.
You shouldn't be scared about them just yet, right? In the Champions League, I don't think the only team that can rival this team right now, I think it's maybe on form PSG. Real Madrid in the Champions League is a different beast.
We're gonna go way off track. We're gonna go way off track here. Am I way out of touch? Am I being too biased in refusing to acknowledge PSG as a contender? Like, I keep seeing the stats of, Dembele 30 goals and assists this year. I don't care. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not impressed. I feel like they're a plastic team. PSG is a plastic team. They have no heritage. They have no culture. They have no spirit. They have no character. I don't care what they do. Am I way off base here and not respecting them as a contender?
Maybe a little bit. Because I think there are two different things. I think spirit, like maybe you calling them a plastic team is different. Like I think Manchester City could be a plastic team, but it doesn't take away from them being a good team. You know, like you could be a good team while being a plastic team. You can still be a good contender while being, like a spoiled brat, being like supported by your parents and being bought everything.
Yes,
you can still be a good student.
Yes,
like doesn't correlate directly. So I think PSG are still on form, are a good team. I think Luis Enrique, but you have to remember this. Luis Enrique is the reason why they're good at the moment.
That is true. It's
not
Dembele.
It's not Dembele. It's Luis Enrique.
No. It's not Dembele.
It's them. Luis Enrique is getting the best out of Dembele. It's Vitinha. It's João Neves. It's players like that. It's Luis Enrique. It's that sort of trifecta. That's making them play good. So I think that right now, the only big opponent that we've shown so far that's the biggest rival of Barcelona this season, I think it's Atletico Madrid. I think that's the hardest opponent we've faced so far this season. Would you agree on that?
I'm surprised
statement?
We have it. Well, yes, my brain was kind of going somewhere else there for a second. I want to revisit that. Do I think that this Atleti tie is the biggest challenge? I'll say to date, this is the biggest hurdle for us to complete a treble, right? That La Liga fixture against Real Madrid in May, bro, the title is going to come down to that.
No, yeah, but answer my question. Do you think Atletico Madrid is the hardest opponent we face this season? Just look at the.
I'll say yes. I'll say yes because we've played them how many times now? 3 times? 4 times?
4 times. With this one, will be 4 times.
This upcoming match will be 4 because they beat us in La Liga.
We drew the first.
We drew in the first leg. Have those been the only 2? I could have sworn we played them a 3rd time.
No,
and then we won.
We won in the return leg in La Liga.
Yes. Okay.
So it's equal.
But it took us 3 times to beat them.
Yeah.
I know how this works. I watch the games. I have a great memory. They are a formidable opponent. But I think now that we've beaten them, I think it's done. I don't think it's going to be as close of a match in this second leg. I think they've been our biggest test, but I don't think this second leg is going to be our toughest match, actually.
Also, maybe
especially if you
because-
start looking at what we have coming up in Champions League, potentially, again, not to look past Dortmund, but what we have coming up in Champions League. I don't know. Atleti has been our toughest opponent so far this year, if that's what you're saying.
Yeah. But maybe also
Yes,
because
I'll go with that.
maybe also because Atletico Madrid are now, you could say, out of everything so far. You know, they are out of, you know, like the Champions League. They're out of are they out of La Liga? Is it fair to say?
I think they're out of the Liga, dude. I was just looking at the table yesterday. They are 9 points back with 8 matches left.
Yeah.
Excuse me, 9 matches left, right?
Yeah, they're out.
Yeah,
Right.
9 matches left. I can't, there's no way, knock on wood, there's no way we drop 9 points in 9 matches.
No. So
we'd have to lose 3 out of 9. It's not going to happen.
So it comes
again,
down,
knock on wood.
So they will put all their eggs in this basket, or la Copa del Rey, you know.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a massive game. I just want to say that it's going to be a massive game, and for me, one of the biggest. I want to see how Rafinha reacts.
Okay. After the international break, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah. I want to see how, because I don't know about you. Because maybe
Let's talk about it.
Because people maybe in Europe, in North America, I don't know, are not gonna give it that much importance. But here, let me tell you, here in South America, that was a massive like talking point. Like even during the game against Girona, the commentators from Argentina were still talking about it.
Yeah,
you know, and I'm like,
so for those that are
shut up, bro. Just like
for those that are not familiar, Buga. For those that did not see Brazil, Argentina, what are we talking about here? What happened? Fill the people in.
Okay, so before the game on YouTube, there was a nicely produced interview between Rivaldo and some of the biggest stars of the national team of Brazil, including Endrick, Rodrigo, I think it was Vinicius, and then Rafinha. Rafinha, of course, was there, and he was talking, and then at the end, it wasn't as like as they wrote it on Twitter, you know, as they quoted.
It never is. It never is.
Rivaldo said like, "Oh, we have to get the win. We have to get the win." You know, like just fuck Argentina, right? And and Rafinha was like, "Yeah, we have to get the win, and we have to get the win. Fuck them too." Something like that. He said as well. So it's not like he wasn't like you know, to the camera like, let's fuck Argentina. It wasn't like that, right?
Right.
It's still like, it's what you would say if you're like a person of that country and you genuinely cared about a derby of the other country. That's what I would say if I was a professional footballer and I hated, you know, playing against Chile, because Chile is Peru's rival. Even though I'm half Peruvian, half Chilean, and I still would want to beat Chile. You know, that's how much I hate Chile. And I'm from Chile, bro. I have a Chilean passport. I have it right here. So it's like,
that's amazing. Of course you do. Of course you do.
So it's like the only good about having a Chilean passport is I don't need visa for the US and Europe. So I take advantage of them.
See.
So yeah, exactly. So that's what happened, right? And then when the game happened, people are like saying, "Oh, Rafinha didn't show up. Rafinha got confused, got eaten by the occasion and stuff like that." But bro, just look at the freaking team Brazil has. Like only Rafinha would think that he can turn up with that team. You know, let me read you. Can you pull up the team that they had? Or I'll pull it up. You know, I'll pull it up quickly.
Yeah, you pull up, because it's not. Brazil is not an intimidating team right now.
Nah.
They have Rafinha, they have Vinny Jr., they have Rodrigo, like you said.
In goalkeeper, Bento. They had Wesley.
Who's their defense?
Bento goalkeeper. Wesley Franca, who is 21 years of age and plays for Flamengo. Then they have, I never heard of him, Marquinhos Murillo from Nottingham Forest. Then Guilherme Arana, who also plays for, I think he plays for, Atlético Mineiro. Then they have André, who plays for Wolves, Joelinton, and then Mateus Cunha, Rodrigo, Vinicius, and Rafinha up top.
Joe LinkedIn is better than what people think.
But it's
for
looking
sure.
like,
but outside of that, even just the fact that that's one name out of the guys that you just named
in midfield, like only Rafinha, Vinicius Jr., and Rodrigo and Marquinhos are like these, are like they could,
Yeah, and this is why, even though I am a Neymar pessimist, I hear the Brazil supporters being like, "Bring back Neymar! How dare anybody on this team think that they can do better than what Neymar can do?" I hear that, and if I was the manager for Brazil, I'd probably be looking to include him. Be honest.
Yeah. So the Brazilian manager has been sacked. I don't know if you knew that.
Yeah. I saw that, and he as he should be.
Yeah. So so he's been sacked. Bye Dorival Jr. Like he should have been sacked ages ago. But people are doing extreme comparisons.
Yeah. Anyway,
Rafinha,
back to Rafinha.
They're saying like, oh, Rafinha wanted to show that he's the new Neymar and stuff like that. He can carry Brazil when he's in this moment, and he never showed up. But like, where did you get that from?
Yeah.
And people are still talking about this. So all this pressure and all this is building in South America, and now that he didn't play against Girona as well, and he didn't play against Osasuna, I'm like, the next game is against Atletico Madrid, and we haven't seen any goal, any assist from Rafinha after that incredible streak that he's been having this season. So I want to see Rafinha continue. I want to see the Rafinha Ballon d'Or run campaign continue. Like, this cannot stop, because something like this would be the perfect bait for the media to turn on Rafinha, and for him to, and not for him, but for the rest of the football world to what's the word? What will be the opposite of acknowledge?
That's a good question. What's the opposite of acknowledge? I don't know if it's invalidate or unvalidate. I think invalidate might be the word.
Invalidate Rafinha.
Yeah, I'm the
and carry him
one
away
who speaks
from
English
his
as the first language here.
You know what I mean? So
yeah. No, Rafinha. I'm laughing at myself for not knowing a better word for it. But discredit would be
to discredit Rafinha.
To discredit his Rafinha. Yes. Yeah, those words. It's still early here, by the way. Monday morning recording. What are you going to do? No, I'm with you on that, because generally speaking, when you look at who ends up with the Ballon d'Or, international play does definitely factor in. So let's play that out a little bit. Out of Rafinha, Lewandowski, and Pedri, who I think right now are top 3 for Ballon d'Or.
What?
Is there somebody else that?
No.
Why would they not be? Why would they not be right now, here today? If it ended today, who do you put above them?
The top 3 for a Ballon d'Or right now are Rafinha, Mbappe, and Dembele.
I can't. How are you going to say Dembele?
They are. They like it or not. They are, bro. They are. Dembele's up there, like it or not, and Mbappe too, like it or not. Because how the media machine works, those 3 are the top 3.
I'll give you Mbappe. He's had a tremendous second half of the season. I'll give you that. But if Real Madrid, but right now you have to win a trophy.
Yeah.
So Real Madrid are not looking likely to win any trophy right now. If it ended today, who ends up top 3 voting?
Those 3.
Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. Here's a question. I was going to ask this earlier. Would Dembele start in this Barcelona team? Current form Dembele.
Yeah.
Current form Barcelona.
Yeah, I think Rafinha would move. I think Rafinha would move to the middle, and Dembele would go on the left.
Buga, I can't. No. I need to bring Pablo back to talk some sense into you.
Bro, but even when we talk about this, is where I go like Rafinha is miles away the better player of all of the players right now. Because when you look at Dembele, for instance, they're like, oh, the Ballon d'Or, 30 goals and 6 assists for
In what
Dembele
league? In what league does he play
in
in?
the French league.
Exactly.
But then you look at Rafinha, 27 goals, and he has I don't know how many assists out of the top of my head, but it's like he's crazy, right? He has crazy assists. So it's like I know in total he has like 40 something.
Yeah, it's like
20.
Lewandowski's got the
He has
goals,
47.
Lamin's got the assists, Rafinha's doing
47 goal
both.
contribution. 47 goal
That's
contributions
insane,
to
dude.
36 from Dembele, and Mbappe has like 36 as well, something like that.
Yeah,
It's almost 10 more. So it's like, for me, Rafinha is a clear Ballon d'Or winner. But all I wanted to talk about is that I don't want this to bring him down. So I'm very much looking at how Rafinha's impact needs to improve for this one. Like, I want Rafinha to do good.
Can Rafinha win the Ballon d'Or without having any kind of impact for Brazil? Is that possible? Because what I was getting at is if you're looking at, okay, let's include Mbappe and Dembele. The tiebreaker could be what happens on the international stage. Mbappe and Dembele for France. I'm still saying Pedri's in there for Spain. Both of them, I think, have more opportunity to impress on the international level than Rafinha does for Brazil, than Lewandowski does for Poland. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing to compete for South America at the moment. Like, like just the qualifiers. Whilst
it matters.
For France, I mean, you have the Nations League.
Yeah. Do people get hyped for it? It's not really a big thing here in the States. Like first of all, U.S. we won the first 2 Nations League, and then this year crapped out. But
Panama is your verdugo.
I don't even want it. Yeah, it's embarrassing. Absolutely embarrassing. Anyway, we're going well off track here. How long where are we at on time here? We're 15 minutes into this. Have not spoke a word about Barcelona's 2 matches.
No, but we're previewing Atletico.
We're getting there. We're warming up to it. Yes.
So we just continue.
We'll get to it.
Let's finish Atletico then. The game against Atletico.
Okay. I don't think we can actually. I think we have to break down Osasuna and Girona.
Okay.
And that will feed into the conversation of who starts and predictions. Like, we got to do it in the correct order.
So who do you? Okay. So how do you want to go with it?
Well, let's just talk Osasuna and Girona. Let's talk about this. A few things that stood out to me. 1, Dani Olmo injured again. What are we going to do about this? Because we figured out Pedri. We figured out who else had injury problems. Ansu Fati still had some injuries this year. He's on my docket to talk about. Who do you have? No, that's an athletic question. Okay, so what stood out to you in these matches? Because I got Olmo injury, I got Ferran's performance that we could talk about. I think Gavi is actually hitting his stride at the perfect time of the season. And
I was gonna say
Frankie De Jong. I want to give Frankie De Jong some love as well.
No, I was gonna say that I'm really liking Gavi at the moment, and I think that this injury to Dani Olmo could actually give him a little bit of that consistency that we sort of need. I mean, Dani Olmo, I think it's gonna be that sort of player. I mean, hopefully we can figure it out, but it's different to Pedri. Pedri already, he had like preseason with us, everything. Dani Olmo came in the later stages of the transfer window, so less time to work with. But I think
is that the difference? I'm hoping that's the difference. Is that we just haven't had as much time with Olmo to implement the diet, the physical routine, make sure these injuries don't happen. Because am I right? It's all muscle related stuff.
I mean, yeah, and it's more than that. Like it could be just mental issues. It could be just the body. It could just be like what happens in the pitch. It could just be him,
the stress of it all.
It could just be him being injury prone. It could be just be that, So The important thing is that if we have him as a player, then we have to deal with it and we have to acknowledge the responsibilities that we have of him. So let's have Gavi and let's have him play at the best he can be. Let's deal with Olmo at the moment. We can no longer have him in the team. Let's do what we can do with Gavi at the best. And I think with Gavi, we still have a tremendous player. It's like, okay, we have Gavi. Okay, let's play him. Let's do what we can.
Yeah.
And it's like you were saying, I think he's really good at the moment that he's arriving in these stages of the season. And I think he can really help us for these important games. I think he is that sort of player. He will not give you the... And this is wrong for me, because I was going to say he will not give you the amazing pass that Dani Olmo will, but he can, He can.
Gavi is the bridge between a Casado and an Olmo.
Exactly. Like
you know what I mean? Like he's not as good on either end, right? He's not as good defensively as Casado. He's not as good as on the attack as Olmo, but he definitely has everything in between. You know what I mean? He can't stretch to both ends as they can. But for one player to be able to be that balanced, and like we said, hitting his stride, finding his form after taking almost a full year off, coming back, getting limited playing time, I think that's going to be one of the keys for Barcelona's run here, finishing out Copa del Rey, finishing out La Liga, Champions League. I think Gavi stepping up, finding his form. I think when we look back at the end of this season and we have that treble in our trophy case again, I think Gavi's going to be one of the big reasons why that happened.
Absolutely. I like the way you're speaking, man.
You're going to like this too. I'm really coming around to the Shark. I really am. Up until these last few weeks, I would have said he's still on the docket for a transfer. He's still worth maybe trying to cash in. But now I'm going, no. Until we're ready to move on from Lewandowski and we need that number one striker, I'm super fine with Ferran being the second striker off the bench and the striker that starts the lesser matches. I love the movement from Ferran. His confidence under Hansi Flick has reached levels that we have not seen for Ferran Torres. His first touch on that last goal against Girona, in stride, one touch to set it, one touch to finish it with his weaker foot. That to me, it wasn't the flashiest, it wasn't the fanciest, but it, I think, was technically one of his most difficult goals in terms of, like I said, moving at pace, in stride, controlling the ball, one to set it up, one to finish it. I was very impressed. I'm thinking Ferran's in for the long term. I'm thinking he is our Pedro.
I'm smiling. Nah, bro, Ferran Torres is insane. I'm telling you, I'm liking him as that substitute. I think he's perfect. He's such an impact. He has such good mentality. Bro, yeah. He has 15 goals already this season as a substitute.
It's impressive.
That's impressive. 15 goals as a substitute.
I think he has, I saw somewhere, if not the highest, one of the highest goals per minute ratios in Europe right now. I think I could be blowing that out of proportion. I don't think it was just La Liga.
From Vinicius Jr. this season.
Of course he is. Of course he is. Vinny Jr. not having a huge season, but no. Anyway. But shout out to the Shark.
That's what I'm telling you, and he's in as a substitute, bro. That's what I'm talking about. He has 15 goals in 1,218 minutes. I don't know the ratio of that, but that's pretty good.
Somebody's doing the math for us down in the comments.
Doing the math, that's pretty good.
I can feel it. But no, shout out to the Shark. And then Frankie de Jong too. I want to show Frankie some love. I don't know how intentional it was, how much puppeteering was involved, but the fact that Hansi Flick is not just getting the best out of almost every player this year, but he is doing it with the timing of everyone is peaking at the peak of the season, right? Like we've seen Barcelona, I think, peak too early the last few years, where the back half of the season we're just trying to hang on, we're just scraping by. But now we're we're ramping up. We're looking better. We're looking stronger. We're looking energized. We're looking enthusiastic out there. I think Hansi Flick has a lot of players on board here to finish out this season with their best performances. And Frankie, with the turn, the run, the assist, come on, that's prime Frankie right there.
Yeah, I think that this role for Frankie suits him, particularly when we're in open play and he can really progress the ball and run into it. I think that really works out for Frankie. I'm very interested to see and how we develop once again when I'm talking about the Champions League, because when I watched that run from Frankie de Jong, I'm like, this is what I'm talking about. This is why Frankie played, and at the end of the day, Casado doesn't really play for this, because unfortunately, when I'm looking at this is what I want to see. You want to see your best players. This is like, these are your showrunners. You know, this is your this is prime time Barcelona. This is the guys. This is Frankie.
The boys.
This is Frankie, you know, getting the ball, running deep. I'm starting to believe that something special can come out of this season. I'm really, really thinking of it. And step by step, you know?
Yeah, I'm ready for it. Other player, of course, Fermin López.
Oh,
all of a sudden,
Fermin
coming
out of nowhere.
His passing right now. His passing
is insane, bro.
Elite passing right now. He's feeding Lewandowski like a sweet little baby. Here comes another goal. Open up wide. Here's another goal. That's what's happening.
He's passing for the goal, for the Lewandowski goal. It's so good because it's such a precise,
bro.
The angle, the ball, the weight on it,
the curl, the weight of it. Like you say, oh my gosh, we're talking about the one versus Osasuna, of course.
Yeah.
Over the defender, drops it in perfectly on a dime, on Lewandowski's head.
Insane.
Like, could not have placed that any better. Amazing pass.
Insane goal. That was like, you know which one was very similar to that one? His second goal with Barcelona, remember, in preseason against Real Madrid?
From outside the box?
No. Outside the box, that was the first one. I'm talking about the second one in the counter-attack for Ferran. Remember?
I don't know if I'm remembering it.
It was very similar.
If I saw it, but
it was very similar. He did also a very similar pass like that, weighted on perfectly, and onto Ferran, and Ferran scored against Real Madrid. Very similar. I was very surprised with that. To be able to do that and have that in his locker is insane, bro. So I'm very happy with Fermin López. Wow. And like, that's what I'm talking about. Like, we just produce these guys. Like, it's fucking every week.
Dude, it's insane right now. So I'm very, very excited for that. Barcelona and Hansi Flick, well, I should say Hansi Flick, as a manager, has broken Johan Cruyff's record for the unbeaten streak. 20 matches now, or is it 21 after yesterday? 21? 21 now. 21 matches, unbeaten. Unbeaten in 2025. I remember sitting back here, what would it be, about 3 months ago now, maybe a little bit more, with our good friend Sam Marsden. We were all talking about Atleti's 12-match win streak then, and wondering if Barcelona could do something similar. Look at us now. 3 months later, 2 goals conceded in the Liga in 2025. That's insane. One in a 7-1 victory and one in a 4-1 victory. Those are the only 2 goals that we've conceded for La Liga in 2025. That's insane.
What? Can you repeat that?
We have conceded 2 goals in La Liga in 2025. One against Valencia when we beat them 7-1. And the second against Girona when we beat them 4-1.
Really? That's the only 2 goals we conceded?
That's it, baby.
Wow.
I want now. You questioning it makes me need to double check myself.
What? No, against Atletico Madrid.
I'm pulling it up.
We conceded like 4-2. We won 4-2.
Was it? Am I thinking at home then?
Maybe at home.
No, I'm scrolling through 4-0.
No, because we beat them.
No, because that was Oh yeah,
Valencia
Sevilla.
will be
We
no
could.
way.
I must be thinking at home. Well, let me rewind the clock. Boy, this is what happens when you pull out stats from your back pocket. 7-1.
From your prison wallet.
A top 8. Okay, at home. It's at home. It's at home. Let me calm down a little bit. Let me reel it in. Only 2 goals we've conceded at home: Valencia and Girona. Because we conceded. Where are we at here? January. No, that's December. But even with that, I'm looking at. We gave up 1 away to Getafe. We gave up 1 away against Sevilla.
Just give up, bro. Just give up.
I won't do it. 2 to Athletic. We've only given up 6 goals.
Just give up.
Amazing.
You're giving
So not as much as I thought. My bad, everybody. It happens. I got excited. Tiger got out of the cage.
Fake news.
It is fake news, but home. We've only conceded 2 at home. Anyway, moving on from that fake news. I get excited. Now we can talk Atleti match preview.
Do we think in strongest 11?
Strongest 11. Have to. I know we have 7 matches in like 19 days or something like that coming up. It's something insane like that. We have Atletico on Wednesday. We have Betis on Saturday. And then we have Dortmund the following Wednesday. I think we go whole hog. Because to your point, if not the biggest, one of the biggest tests for Barcelona right now, we can't stumble here. Can't stumble in this match against Atletico. Can't do it. Got to make this happen. So I'm going strongest 11. I don't think there's much debate. I got one position that I think is open for debate. Obviously, we have Chesney in goal. We have the front 3 of Rafinha, Lewandowski, Lamine. Back 4, Balde, Koundé. Are you going Kubarsi and Martinez, or are you going Araujo in there for one of them?
No, go Barça Martinez.
Barca Martinez. I'm with you on that. Midfield, Pedri, Frankie, and then I don't know if we go Gavi or if we go Fermin. I think that's the only debate. Is our third midfielder going to be Gavi or Fermin? Am I right? Is there, with Almo injured, with Casado injured, I think that's the only debate. And Fermin and Gavi, like we just said, both incredible form right now. Both are going to give you something a little bit different.
I think it might be Fermin, actually. When you talk about it, I think Fermin might get the notch. Because I think he's playing at a better level than Gavi, actually. And I think that for Atletico Madrid, when we talk about like how tight they're gonna be, you want extra runners. I think Fermin might just be the guy that I pick.
I think Fermin gives you a little bit more creativity on the attack. I think Gavi gives you a little bit more security through the midfield, which is why I'm with you. I think I start Fermin, start out on that front foot, let Gavi come in like a pit bull sometime after halftime when we're already up 2-0 and secure things, not let Atleti back in the match like we did before.
Yeah, I think Gavi might come in second half.
That's what I'm thinking. Could there be any other surprises to the lineup? I don't see anything else happening. Could you see Eric starting in that defensive mid role, and then Pedri and Frankie alongside? That doesn't feel very balanced, but I'm just trying to think through it. Are there any alternatives?
I mean, Flick could also go with Ferran Torres instead of Lewandowski. Because he did say when we played in La Liga against them in the Wanda, he did say it was a technical decision.
I would be, that would be a ballsy move. Second leg Copa del Rey semifinal against Atleti, and Lewandowski doesn't start
after he's had 2 incredible games.
Think about that. That would be a bold move by Hansi. I don't know. I'm not going to be upset if that happens. It's a lot of pressure for the Shark. I'd rather see him come off the bench and save us if we needed it.
Yeah.
It's a lot of pressure for the Shark if he starts that match.
My man has some big balls, and I'm talking about Hansi Flick.
He does. Yeah, Hansi's got big balls. If anybody would do it, it would be Hansi. Boy, I don't know. Because in the 4-2 win, Lewandowski still started. I'm looking at the line. We had Lewandowski, Rafinha, Olmo, Lamine, Pedri, Castro, Balde, Martinez, Kubarsi, Kunde. Olmo is unavailable. Castro unavailable. I think Hansi keeps it simple, and we go Frankie in for Castro, and we go Fermin in for Olmo, and you keep everything else the same tactics-wise that we saw against Atleti in the 4-2 win.
Okay, I can see that. Let's agree on that. Let's be diplomatic.
Your tone disagrees with me, even though your words are not. I can hear that tone, Buga, saying, "Oh, this silly American, he doesn't know what he's talking about." I can feel it. I can feel it in your tone, Buga. Got no ball knowledge. Yeah. Nah, I'm gonna start Lewandowski, and I think Flick does as well. It's too much on the line.
Sure.
You with me?
I agree.
Okay. Predictions wise, 4-4 in the first leg. Barcelona went down 2-0, went up 4-2, and then conceded 2 more and it ended up 4-4. What's our prediction for this one? What's the score line? Who's going to get those goals?
I think we go. I think this is gonna be another headache of a game, bro. I think it's gonna be another headache of a game. I think Julian Alvarez will get another goal. I think it's gonna be 1 goal for. They're gonna score first, maybe. They're gonna put
Atleti score first.
Yeah, I think so.
Wow.
I think Julian gets a goal. I think Gallagher gets a goal. 2-2. I think Lewandowski gets a goal, and I think Ferran Torres gets a goal. 2-2. And then I think Rafinha wins it 3-2.
Wow. Okay. I'm also going to say Atleti score first. I'm going to say they score in the first 10 minutes. But I think we level it. We level it before halftime. And I think it's going to come from midfield. Like maybe it's Fermin López gets a start, gets a goal in the first half. And then second half, I think we'll have a couple of scares, but I think it's going to be all Barca. I think we end up winning 3-1, and we get a goal from Rafinha and a goal from Lewandowski in that second half.
So 3-1.
The 3-1 Barca, Fermin, Rafinha, Lewandowski, the golazos. And I'll even say it's going to go Fermin, Lewandowski, Rafinha with the third.
Okay.
And a fairly uncomfortable victory for Barcelona.
Interesting.
Yes. So what did you say? 4-2?
3-2.
Or 4-1? 3-2? Okay, you said 3-2. I'm going 3-1. I feel good about that. I feel pretty good about that.
Bro, I'm not liking this week. I'm not liking this game. Too much pressure.
You nervous?
Yeah, I'm actually very
puckered
nervous.
up over there?
I'm very nervous for this game. I really do. I'm actually very nervous for Dortmund as well.
You've gotten in my head a little bit about Dortmund.
I haven't mentioned anything about Dortmund. How can I get in your head?
Because the last time we talked about it, you were like, "Oh, don't look past Dortmund. Don't look past Dortmund." And I am admittedly looking past Dortmund. Because I want Inter. And honestly, I know everybody wants an El Clasico final, but I want PSG in the final just to get them to shut up. Shut your mouth.
I kid you not. I wouldn't I wouldn't survive in a Clásico final.
It would be because how long do you have between the semifinal and the final? Like 2 weeks, like a month even. There's like a big gap. Let's see here. UCL fixtures. When is the semifinal? Oh, okay. It's not that bad. 7 days. No, that's between the two. Okay, so the semifinal is on the 29th. Second leg on the 6th. Oh, dude, yeah, you got to wait 3 weeks. The final's not till May 31st. So on May 6th, it's Barcelona and Real Madrid moving forward. We got to wait 25 days of angst and anticipation.
I wouldn't survive. I wouldn't survive that time, and I wouldn't survive the one.
I would have to go on a sabbatical at work. Like I can't produce anything. I can't focus. I can't be creative. I can't be present for this. We've got an El Clasico final happening in 25 days. I need to be in an isolation chamber, relaxing.
Yeah. Haaland, I need your cryo chamber.
Yeah, right, exactly. We are overlooking the other side of the Copa del Rey table. Real Madrid only have a 1-0 aggregate going into this second leg. Is there any hope for Sociedad? Is there any hope? No? You're not going to give them even a... No? You're just going to laugh them off? Okay.
No.
All right. Okay.
There's no way.
I don't know.
Like, there's no way for Arsenal either.
Well, yeah, Arsenal, they're going to get pounded. I think
like
Arsenal
the other day I was seeing like Arsenal first at home. Like I was like, if they maybe play at the Emirates in the second leg, no, they play first at the Emirates and then they go to the Bernabeu. There's no way, bro.
Yeah.
Real Madrid are going to the final.
Arsenal.
Real Madrid are going to the final, bro.
Man, I don't know. I'm still looking at Sociedad and Real Madrid. The first leg was very close, but it was Sociedad was at home, so it'll be a different second leg. I know. I wanted some hope. I wanted to stir the pot a little bit, but I think I'm grasping at straws, as they say.
The only one who will be able to beat Real Madrid is us.
Help us, Barcelona. You're our only hope.
Literally, we're the only one who can beat Madrid is Barca.
The giant killers. We could do it. It happens.
We certainly can.
Ooh, okay. Anything else? We need to get into today? We touched on Osasuna. We touched on Girona. We gave our match previews for Atletico. We have the Betis match. Quick prediction for the Betis match, since that'll be happening before we podcast again.
I don't care about the Betis match. We're gonna beat them. We always beat Betis. I mean, we don't always beat Betis, but like it's always an open game. We always know what we're gonna get with Betis. It's gonna be like an incredible 4-4 draw, or it's gonna be like a 3-0 smashing, or it's gonna be like every 5 games Betis beats us like 2-0. But that's not gonna happen because our team this time around is too good. So it's like we're gonna beat them like 4-0.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll go 5-0 against Betis. I think we hump them. Into submission. Even though they are fighting for a European spot. They've got the Europa League conference right now. But they are trying to catch Villarreal and Athletic Club for a Champions League spot. So they got something to fight for. They've got a brilliant, just phenomenal up-and-coming midfielder in Johnny Cardoso. But other than that, not a lot for Betis to get excited about. So I think we hump them into submission 5-0.
Pound Town.
Take them to Pound Town, baby. No exits, no off-ramps. Straight to Pound Town. One-stop shop. Bang.
Okay.
Bangerang. All right.
Homies, I need breakfast. Let's wrap it.
Yeah. It's Monday morning. We got this in the books. It's a rainy day, but we're gonna get through it.
It's rainy day over there. Look, I have the sun in my face.
Yeah, I don't have that. We've got a rainy spring day right now. But lots to be excited about for Barcelona supporters. Big week coming up. Let us know your predictions down in the comments. What's the scoreline going to be against Athletic Club in the or Atletico in the semifinal? Who's going to be the goal scorers? That's important. Who's going to be the goal scorers? We want to know.
Cool.
Other than that, show some love, show some support, drop a like, share it, share the podcast, tell your friends as we continue to grow this community. With that out of the way, we'll be back next week. We'll break down the second leg versus Atletico. We'll talk the recap versus Betis and whatever else comes up Barcelona-wise. We're here for it, folks. And we're glad you're here too. Thank you so much for listening. We'll see you next week right here on MES Podcast. Thanks, friends.
See you.